Never would I ever have believed Auntie Cleo herself would walk through that door. But I haven't time to linger in the novelty. Sentinels, if you would.
Here, like someone afraid of a few guns. Give it up, Emery. You've lost this war. Have some dignity. You're coming off desperate.
Contrary, this desperate action is what will save all of Arcadia and rid it forever of trespassers like you. Do not place his decision at my feet. I know it's difficult for the likes of you to fathom the concept of self-sacrifice, but he chose mental refreshment for the good of us all. What am I to do but carry on his legacy? What am I to do but achieve what he could not? Don't doubt that, Commander. Yes, I know well who you are. In any other situation, I might be compelled to take you apart and see how precisely it is you operate, but time, it would seem, isn't on your side. A relic of an impotent institution, propelled forward by nothing more than luck and foolhardy metal. Rarely are there enough measures to keep the most tenacious of sprats from gnawing their way in. I've been following your progress closely, you know, since you so unceremoniously tampered with our Vox relay on Paradise Island. When you began your dealings with the Order and the Corporatists, I thought that perhaps having a chaotic element in their midst could work in our favor. But now you're here, scurrying around my ship and attempting to thwart the Protectorate yet again. You think yourself clever, don't you? The Sovereign is indisposed, leaving myself as the sole custodian of Arcadia. What's his is mine. And the victory I inevitably clench over you, over anyone, will be his in turn, even if he's not here to bask in it. Such bravado is unbecoming when you can't make good on your promises, Commander. Did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall, Greater Tranquility was reduced to little more than mangled ruins in a single moment.
You used the peace talks as a test run for this.
Modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Auntie's choice in the Order once and for all, but it has proven to be a valuable lesson in patience. Able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend. Very well. Once the rift destroys Arcadia, we shall edit the information stored within it and use the modulator to reshape our colony into its perfect form. Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy, yes, but without it, we might never have opened our eyes to our true purpose and the possibility of Arcadia's rebirth. The Matriarch discovered the first skip drive. She set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the architect intended. Rapid, aren't you? Well, what's relevant is what came after. Our Matriarch dissected this skip drive technology, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse, which eventually led to the manifestation of rifts. But it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that we understood the opportunity gifted us. The opportunity to reconstruct the colony in its perfect form. It is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future, one free of doubt and greed.
Commander. The Consul is a master manipulator. Trying to speak with him may be more dangerous than simply slaying him on the spot.
You're entirely out of your jurisdiction. Reach, I would strike down this apostate dog myself. If you wish for me to entertain your argument, you will silence him.
Marie Thoreau, I accuse you of perfidy of the highest degree, traitorism against the Sovereign and his Protectorate. I find you guilty on all counts. Prepare for absolution.
You're eager fools. This is the last mistake you'll ever make.
Give the order, and I'll take care of him, Commander. Just say what... Let me know when you need a distraction.
Seems all my considerable efforts here have been ill spent. Total rift destabilization is imminent. Our last resort is our only resort now. We need to fly the rift modulator in.
You don't have some dubious plan for this eventuality? I owe Niles 5 bits.
Open up, everyone. Not all of us need go, but someone present will need to take one for the team. Oh, what's the point of living if you can't allow yourself the occasional moment of theatrics? The Order and I will use this and the processed rift data to mass-produce modulators that are usable at a distance. These pesky rifts will soon no longer plague the colonies. For a sap to fly that rickety rig, don't look at me. I intend to abscond back to my ship with those wonderful little schematics. I have plans for those plans. Now why'd you have to bring that up? That's, I suppose you've made one hell of a sales pitch. Okay. Fine. I'll do it.
Everyone here, I had you last to volunteer on a selfless suicide mission. It would appear there's more to your character than I thought.
Oh, shut up, the lot of you! Don't make a fuss, or you'll make me change my mind. Metallic exterior? How very droll. Keep it up. It's not too late to glue your hand to the controls. Now, I think I've had my fill of this conversation. Simply take the schematics and depart my presence in awe-struck, misty-eyed silence.
In the end, moved by the ghosts of her past, Auntie Cleo boarded the ship and became the galaxy's unlikely savior. In her final moments, the ruthless Auntie's Choice CEO mused that maybe she was the best choice after all. Commander's quick thinking in sparing it from the Vox station's fiery crash, Paradise Island's Fairfield remained a profitable company town for Auntie's Choice. His outside-the-box thinking and innovative propaganda techniques, D.B. Milverstreet was promoted, while rival officer cars seethed at her lack of upward mobility, or even bronze-tier executive benefits. Hogarth, now acclimated to Fairfield, leaned on the Protectorate ideals of neighborliness, while overlooking all the authoritarian tactics, so he might help the Order to succeed with the equation. Choice assumed control over the day-to-day workings of Matriarch's Mercy, the better to monitor their new colleagues in the Order. The monastery, however, returned to normal operation, tracking the clockwork of the grand plan. Ares Abbott became a scapegoat for recent tragic events, having not detected Wiley's dastardly schemes. His superiors demoted him, mainly to show their corporatist allies that academics could keep their people in line too. He fled the Order and sought refuge in a backwater Arcadian town to contemplate his failings. As word of the Exeer's arrival spread, people lined up for predictions. Forsaking the math that failed him, he offered obvious yet effective advice instead. Val continued to serve the commander of the Incognito faithfully, for many more years than should be possible, giving automechs like her everywhere a reputation as stable and reliable. As a result, more Valerie units were put into service, while fewer human agents were deployed into the field. Both through the Earth Directorate ranks, Niles pressed for a field directive to deploy the new Val units only when the situation posed significant risk. The policy reduced agent casualties by a significant margin. Oddly enough, in-office deaths increased by a not insignificant margin. His convincing appeals to the press earned her clout in reforming Auntie's Choice's cruel grafting program. Yet it was a constant struggle, rife with red tape and pushback from program executives. This was Inez's new battle, one she would fight for the rest of her life. Utilizing what he learned alongside the commander, Tristan attempted to reform Protectorate society from within. But with no authority figure to lead its subjects, the Protectorate was a shell of its former self. As disbanded the Glorious Dawn, its members quietly tried to resume lives forever disrupted by the Arcadian conflict. As the cult's murderous legacy faded, average colonist life expectancy increased by 0.23%. Later schematics shared as joint intellectual property, Auntie's Choice and the Order's partnership remained steady, despite the need for constant compromise. For a time, the Arcadia colony thrived. Old Auntie dead, a new figurehead was needed to keep up appearances. Company execs fast-tracked auditions for a new Auntie. Some employees thought she looked suspiciously different, but were too overjoyed with the prospect of growing profits to care. Unable to acquire the chemicals needed for the process, Ruth Bassar nevertheless attempted to interface with the archive and died immediately. Her successor banned any future interfacing attempts and led the Order in a much more cautious direction, delaying their progress for at least a century. Adrift without firm leadership, Protectorate subjects struggled with post-war life. A small band of hardliners collaborated to preserve their society in the face of Arcadia's new leadership. Sovereign Varric was discovered in mental refreshment. The Order and Auntie's Choice bickered over what to do with him. They ultimately decided to announce his death, while letting him live the rest of his addled days behind closed doors aboard the undisputed claim. One day, Amos stumbled upon the Sovereign's private quarters and freed him, rocking the colony with a brief scandal. Despite the recent tumultuous events in Arcadia, it was business as usual for Free Market Station. Sub Rosa continued to supply the colony in the wake of the commander's actions. The dangerous experimental research of Marisol's contact from Point Obviation lived on, with a Seer predicted 11.9% probability of yielding a universe-ending catastrophe. Meanwhile, an entrepreneurial work group of chemistricians unveiled a new flavor of Purple Berry Crunch. The release of the skip drive schematics to the public domain resulted in new and exciting opportunities for independent manufacturers. However, unchecked use of the drives would ultimately lead to an even greater proliferation of rifts, once again imperiling the galaxy. Fortunately, the Order stepped in. Leveraging their partnership with Auntie's Choice, the Order sold rift modulators to all skip drive manufacturers for a modest price, thus preventing another outbreak of rifts, while Auntie's Choice made a tidy profit. Compromise between the Order and Auntie's Choice led to prioritized assistance for the colonies that agreed to favorable trading terms. The so-called Auntie's Loyalty Program tripled the corporation's net worth. Well, the Order was able to sermonize their version of scientism alongside Auntie's marketing and PR onslaught, at least to colonies in Auntie's Loyalty Program. Many outside died because their rifts weren't closed in time. All of these events turned on the decisive actions of the Earth Directorate agent and their unique way of navigating Arcadia, its disparate factions, social complexities, ubiquitous product placement, and arsenal of absurdly satisfying weaponry. But through it all, and to this day, Earth has remained inexplicably dark.